How does a person become devalued while in a marriage or a relationship? Stick around. We're going to bear down on it.
I just wanna tell you how I feel.
Listen, guys, a lot of times when people choose to be together, they choose to be together on false pretense. And this idea, this mythological idea, is that I'm going to be happy all the time. For the most part, people don't know what makes them happy. If you gave them all the money in the world, you set up the perfect scenario, they would still find a way to be unhappy. That's just the way humans are. That's just the way the world is. The world is always and always will be ups and down. Because at the minimum, you know deep down inside that someday you're going to die. For the most of us, we're going to get sick and die. Some of us just going to have a sudden death. But deep down buried inside of you, you know that. So with just that being said, that automatically, subconsciously going to make you feel some kind of way on different days. Now, consciously, you may not even be thinking about no death. Most of us don't. Most of us don't walk around thinking about I'm going to die tomorrow unless you're sick. But we don't normally think about that. But being that it's buried down deep, it's a part of our subconscious. So that automatically right there makes your moods, make your happiness fluctuate up and down. And then plus the transformation of life, the progression of life. You go through stages. You start at a young age and you go to an older age. So those are the stages that you go. You're going to experience losses from loved ones. You're going to experience happy moments. You're going to experience exciting moments, adventurous moments. You're going to experience all of that. And I say all of that to say this. Define happiness. What person is going to make you totally happy? And I hate to break the news to you, but it's going to be nobody. Nobody's going to make you totally happy for 20, 30 years. That's why happiness and building a relationship on happiness is building it on a false sense of security. What you have to build your relationship on is satisfaction, being satisfied, being content with a hint of happiness. Find you a person with 5 to 6 out of the things that you like, with one thing being the main thing and the rest of the things being secondary, and settle with that. Otherwise, you're going to keep finding all the reasons in the world and all the things about that person why you shouldn't stay, why you should exercise your options. But how a person becomes devalued is because they're with someone that their only objective in life is to be happy with all excitement. And once they get with you, or once they get with that person, and that person becomes boring to them, becomes non-exciting anymore, then the things that they fell in love with that person for, maybe their sense of humor, maybe their charisma, maybe their work ethic, maybe their connection, maybe their physical appearance, then those things they become used to. So it's not exciting anymore. It's no longer exciting, and what starts to be magnified is all the things that are bad about this person, all the things that you don't like. And why is that magnified? Because you're not content. You're not like the old people say, you just don't know when to leave well enough alone. You just don't know how to leave well enough alone. And when you don't know how to leave well enough alone, then guess what? You're always going to be searching. You're always going to be searching. And this doesn't just go, it can work both ways. But for the most part, you'll leave that person feeling like they're inadequate, feeling like they're less than, because they feel like they're doing everything they can to appease that person, and it's just not good enough. And it's just not good enough. And guys, I will tell you this right now. That goes along with what I always say is putting a woman on a pedestal. Eventually she's going to devalue you. Eventually she's going to think that she can do way better than you. If you put her on a pedestal, so can somebody else put her on a pedestal. Why should she be with you? And after a while, she's going to devalue you. After a while, as the years pass by, she's going to get used to you. She's going to get used to everything about you. And guess what? Those 6 things that you've always did, the 6 or 7 things that you've always did well, they just don't matter no more. She's going to always think that you're supposed to do those things. You can't change now. This is how I met you. So at the bare minimum, no matter if you busting your ass, because people think that they want everybody else to be a racehorse, never fall off. They start out go from 0 to 80 miles per hour, and they just want that other person to hold it at 80%, hold it at 80 mile per hour for the next 300 miles, for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. While all the time they ain't running at about goddamn 30 mile per hour and steady decreasing. But they don't see that in themselves. They don't see that in themselves. So all the time they're devaluing you and overrating and overvaluing themselves. Because most of the time when relationships go bad, and it's a lot of individuality. Somebody is not looking themselves in the mirror. Somebody is not taking accountability for their own actions. That's the biggest thing. But most of the time, we want to point the finger at the other person. At the other person. And guys, women will do that majority of the time. Now, I'm not going to say that we don't play a part sometimes too. I will say, yeah, we do have our shit. But a lot of time when women get bored, they will start to devalue you, point the finger, and not want to take accountability and not want to look themselves in the mirror. Not want to look themselves in the mirror. And first of all, guys, you should never let a woman place a value on you. And I'm not, and it doesn't have to be like literally a value, but it's something that's not spoken. You know, it's understood that she values me. Okay, no, I value myself. I don't need you to value me. I value myself. And when you keep that attitude, guys, then that's no way a person can devalue you. There's no way that they can devalue as long as you keep that attitude. But if you go in there and you allow them to play or place a value on you, those are the ways, and that's how they're going to devalue you. When they get bored, they lose desire. They no longer see you as a commodity to them. They no longer see you in that manner. And that's how you end up being devalued. Anyway, until next time, peace.